Hello and welcome to Weggies Presents. I'm Weggies and today I am presenting part 2 of my Birth of Derpy series titled Derpy. As always with fluffy pony related content, it is for mature audiences, and since I fall into the slice of life / abuse department, this is your warning. How time till Weggies? It's Weggies time, bitches. So gather around little fluffies and I will present you a story. Be older anon, early 30s. You've had a cat and a dog at one point stuffed into your tiny apartment, but you've finally moved up in the world and bought a small home in the suburbs. To celebrate, you're going to get yourself one of those newfangled Flufflepuff ponies everyone at work talks about. You have heard the bad, but took it with a grain of salt and decided to give one a go anyway. After much research on the interwebs, you fluffy-proofed your home with the basics. Cover wall sockets with plug covers, zip tie cords to things, tape cords to the rug so they can't be tripped on, secured anything breakable to withstand a clumsy child, stuff like that. In the spare bedroom, you set up the room to be the Fluffy's safe room where they will spend most of their time. This room was extra work, with ripping out the carpet to lay down some cheap linoleum to make life easier owning a Fluffle. It is a well-established fact that they poop and pee everywhere, even accidentally sometimes, and ruin carpets quickly. You picked out a low-border litter box to accommodate for the short, awkward legs of a fluffy pony, a cat tent to act as a safe cave for your pony to hide and sleep in, and a small wooden block set and a ball. You figure you can reward your pet with more stuff later, but this would be good to keep it occupied for now while you are at work. The big day arrives. You head into shelters in the city to look for a good Fluffy. It has been a while since the incident at Hasbro, so official breeders are pretty much gone. Plus, it's always good to help animals in need anyway, so you head to the shelters to check them out first. You have also heard about a breeder who was local, run from a person's house known as Backyard Breeders, who subsequently is the only breeder in town. So many choices though, you didn't think it would be this hard to just pick one and go. Every possible color combination of fluff, mane, and tail you could think of, and even more that you didn't think was even possible. The breeder had made a swirl patterns and a few other crazy things. You return home for the day to think about all the fluffies you saw today. You had a few you wanted to take a second look at tomorrow. Considering this can talk and has the intelligence of a child, it's not something you want to rush into. But you also need to hurry, as you want the fluffy to be comfortable before you rent out your last bedroom to a friend. You end up deciding on a yellow Pegasus pony with rosy pink mane with a green stripe mixed in. On the drive home, you call your buddy who owns Fluffies. Well, let's say he has anger management problems, especially when he drinks. After the last time you both got arrested from a bar fight with some neckbeards, you no longer drink with him, but you still meet up with him now and then when alcohol is not involved. Anyway, he mentioned his wall-eyed fluffy killer had foals and she killed most of them. The last survivor he wanted to give it away rather than deal with more fluffies. More importantly though, to save its life. I guess he does have his moments. Said it was gray fluff, a yellow mane and tail, and white tufts of fur on its flank. You laughed when he said it looked like little bubbles. He is going to bring it over tomorrow, so you have time to get your new fluffy set up. Oh, almost forgot a name. Fluttershy. So original and creative. Okay, seriously, you named her Buttercup. Once at home, you open the cardboard carrier she was in to let her out into her new room. She is caked in shit and already crying. You lift her out and calm her down. Fluffy no smell pretty. Fluffy owies, wingy hurties. Nothing looks broken, and it's not like you knocked the box around. How can they be that fragile? You wash her up with a damp cloth and let her out in her safe room. Fluffy love Daddy. Your new name is Buttercup. Buttercup? Buttercup! Fluffy love name. Thanks, Daddy. She seems to have cheered up a bit and is playing with the blocks you got her. Well, they're almost as big as she is, since she's still so young. Odd that she doesn't miss her mother or siblings, though. It wasn't that long ago she was with them. Almost like once she had a daddy, she was programmed to forget about everything else. You tell her to poop before bed. No need make poopies, Daddy. You pick her up and gently squeeze her over the litter box, and sure enough, she splattered poop all over the litter box. Owies! No hurt, Buttercup! You have to go to the bathroom every time before you sleep. You don't want to accidentally go where you sleep. If you make bad poopies, you will be punished. You boop her on the nose with the tip of your finger. That seems enough punishment for her. Buttercup, sorry. Be good, Fluffy, for Daddy. You smile and tuck her in the tent with a blanket, nuzzling her and patting her behind the ears. The next day your friend drops off a small box on his way to work. Inside you hear crying. Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. It's old enough, don't worry. Oh, and it's a filly. He heads off and you open the box up and take out the Fluffy. The fluff is matted down and caked with shit and piss, and you're not quite sure what else. What this thing has been through, you wonder. You take it inside and clean it up. When trying to wash it, it kept fluttering its wings for no reason, spraying you with water and preventing you from cleaning its wings properly. It wept for most of the time, but you were able to make out a few words. Tummy owies or something about wings or flying. After it was clean, it started wiggling its legs and blew raspberries. This Fluffy can't be old enough. What is your name, Fluffy? The fuck is wrong with this thing? Derpy. It's too big to be a runt, but it sure acts like one. The web said runts are more round and ball-shaped rather than having elongated bodies, with underdeveloped wings and horns and legs. Sometimes not having legs at all, or even a butt. That story disturbed you the most. The runt was born with 3 legs and no butt. It shit inside itself till it died. Runts are also said to not survive long, either from other fluffies killing the bad babies, or from neglect. The few that are born under human supervision even died within a month or 2. They are listed on Hasbro's website as underdeveloped foals that should be mercy killed if your Fluffy has one. Derpy here seems to be fully developed and the right size for a Fluffy. Looks just like Buttercup, only different colors. Oh well. Time to meet your new friend, Derpy. You find Buttercup playing in her room with her ball. She chases after it and bumping into it with her head before she can stop and push it with her legs. Come back, meanie ball. Oh, Buttercup, time to meet your new friend I was telling you about. Yay, new friend. Daddy, you best, Daddy. You put Derpy down next to Buttercup and wait and see what the reaction is. If she is a runt, the web says a Fluffy will reject it. Sure enough, Buttercup rears back when you put Derpy down. Fluffy no blow raspberries at Buttercup. Daddy, Buttercup no want runt for friend. Well, that answers that. Don't worry, sweetie. You guys will get along great. Just give her a chance. Derpy. You put a block next to Derpy and step back to watch how they get along. Derpy just kind of nibbles on the corner of the block while Buttercup yells at her about how that's not how you're supposed to play with the blocks. Give huggies. Make I better for Derpy. Huggies fix. Well, looks like they're getting along just fine. Gonna have to keep a close eye on them, though, to make sure she doesn't try anything to hurt her for being a runt when you're not around. Gonna have to call your buddy, too, to yell at him. Well, the first week goes by uneventful. They actually get along pretty well, aside from Derpy always nibbling on Buttercup's belly looking for teats. Guess she was still nursing when your friend dropped her off, though she's much too old to be doing so. Took some time coaxing her to get her to eat mush for foals, and finally got her eating kibble like Buttercup, even though she still goes for the teats when she is hungry. You can see now Buttercup is actually bigger than Derpy. While she is not a total runt, she has a very limited vocabulary and is even less intelligent than her regular Fluffy, if that's even possible. She pushes the ball around with her head, nibbles on anything she can get her mouth on, and can't seem to understand much of what you or Buttercup say to her. But she functions normally and seems happy. Ball! Bump. Ball! Bump. This goes on for hours sometimes. Took to leaving your headphones on when you're playing games or even just watching things on your computer. Buttercup, on the other hand, is pretty quiet. While she does babble like any Fluffy overall, she tends to be quieter and spends a lot of time playing with the blocks. She manages to stack them quite high until Derpy knocks them over. Being bigger, she is also more stable when she sits up, allowing her to stack them without knocking them all over. You notice Buttercup is getting bigger still, always asking for more and more food. Since they are inside Fluffies and no way to get outside, it finally dawns on you that Derpy may be male. Oh shit.jpg. Time to go on a trip, Fluffies. Twip? What twip, Daddy? Derpy didn't seem to hear. She's just fluttering her wings while standing on the top of a block. We're going to see a man who will check to make sure you're healthy and nothing is wrong with you. Wrong with Buttercup? But Buttercup is good, Fluffy. No make bad poopies. I know. This is just a checkup. Even Daddy gets these yearly. Fluffies have no concept of time. To them, every time they wake up, it's a new day. Probably don't even know what a year means. You grab the 2 cat carriers you bought. They were intended to double as a sorry box, but so far haven't needed to use one for Buttercup. Scoldings and a few incidents with the sorry stick, as she dubbed it, have solved any messes and accidents so far. Derpy, on the other hand, any yelling or use of the sorry stick will cause Derpy to further evacuate her bowels. Time spent in the carrier, or just any punishment, while it does invoke a response from her physically, she does not seem smart enough to connect a punishment with her actions like Buttercup can. It would just be mean and cruel to continue disciplining her when she can't connect her actions to the punishment and learn from it. It would just be senseless abuse. She would suffer and not even know why. There have been a few accidents where Buttercup did not make it, but at least she tried to get there. Derpy just giggles and poops wherever she happens to giggle and poop. To solve this, you set up a makeshift diaper and a safety pin and put it on her. It actually works pretty well. Just have to change it often and wash them. Everything went better than expected. Since neither Fluffy has a negative connotation to the carriers, they went in without a fuss. You told Buttercup it was a game, and she even cheered. Buttercup, we'll have games. Oh, nurse. 2 Fluffies. I thought you said 2 puppies. Oh, excuse me. Hi there. Welcome to the vet. What services are you here for today? Yes, I need to check the gender on this Fluffy. I was told it was female, but I think it may be a male as my other Fluffy looks like she may be getting the P word. She keeps getting bigger and bigger. Okay, sir, I'll be happy to check that for you. He takes the carrier with Derpy in it first. Obviously, he wasn't happy about dealing with Fluffies, but hey, money is money. Nope, this gray Pegasus is definitely female, so I'm guessing the P word is not the problem unless your other Fluffy has been out near ferals. Let me take a look. By the way, interesting concept on the diaper for the Fluffy. Does it work well? Very well. I'm sure you have noticed she is wall-eyed and thus doesn't make it to the litter box. It has worked beyond my expectations and I definitely recommend others to try it. I'm sorry for the pause. The vet pulls Buttercup out of the character and she shits all over him. You feel so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I swear, I had them go before we left the house. Don't worry, Mr. Anon. I'm a vet, and we deal with this quite frequently. Nurse? Nurse? Bring me a towel, please. Oh, fucking Fluffies. Why doesn't this one also have a diaper, sir? The vet asks. She isn't a wall-eyed. Usually she makes it to the litter box. He accepts your answer and cleans up. After he performs a few things, he comes back and says she isn't pregnant, but nothing seems to be wrong with her. Do you want to pay for some blood work? No, I will wait and see if there's any change. Nothing seems wrong. I just thought she might have been baking a batch in there. You collect your Fluffies and head home. Despite warnings from online about vet visits, the visit went well aside from the shitstorm. You guess Buttercup only looks so big in preggers because Derpy is smaller than average. Buttercup no feel good. Tummy owies. Want nummies. Want babies. Want to make milkies for babies. I will feed you when we get home, Buttercup. Shit, when did someone let the P word slip? Once at home, you push Derpy off Buttercup and stick her face in the bowl so she starts eating. Once she does, her wings start fluttering. Weird little thing. Buttercup has no trouble getting to the food bowl after that and chowing down. It has become habit that you do this now. Derpy pushes Buttercup over to climb on and look for teats when it's mealtime. This prevents Buttercup from getting her own food bowl to eat. So out of habit, you pull Derpy off Buttercup and stick her face in the food bowl without thinking about it. Derpy accepts this as her teat and starts eating. Time to go see about how to make Buttercup forget about babies. Don't need that headache. A week later, you come home from work, feed the fluffies, pull Derpy off Buttercup. Wait a minute, where's Buttercup? Buttercup, where are you? Help, Daddy, Weggy's no work. You walk around the house looking for Buttercup. Seems with all that's been going on lately, you haven't spent much time with your fluffies. Buttercup has ballooned up so that even when righted, her legs are barely long enough to walk. You set her right side up so she struggles to walk, moving at a snail's pace. Yes, a fluffy snail's pace. Daddy, carry Buttercup to Nummy's. So hungry. Is something wrong? Are you pregnant somehow? Fluffies aren't supposed to get this big normally. But babies? What, Buttercup have babies? She shits herself in the excitement of having babies. You smack your face with your palm. She can't be pregnant. She must just be a fat ass, and you had to go and say the P word again when you finally got her off it. You grab her and take her to the food dish. Eat up, 'cause after this you're going on a diet, Tubby. Too busy eating to hear you, she just starts to chow down. Derpy gets startled by your sudden appearance and notices Buttercup. Derpy moves over to her, bumping her onto her side, and tries to find a teat. Why do you have two rejects, you think to yourself. You stuff her face back in the food bowl and she begins to eat normally again. After cleaning up the mess Buttercup left down the hall, you are washing your hands when you hear Buttercup screaming bloody murder. You rush out to find Derpy playing ball. Ball fun, she claims as she is pushing Buttercup, bumping her with her head and rolling her around the kitchen floor. You laugh your ass off. So that's how you ended up down the hall when I got home from work today. Derpy, stop! No hurt Buttercup! Want nummies! Ball! Derpy shouts. You pick up Derpy and pet her behind the ears, giggling. She giggles and starts blowing raspberries as she flutters her wings and wiggles her leggies. She says something else, but you couldn't understand her. You pick up Buttercup in your other hand and take them back to the safe room for the night. Daddy, Buttercup hungry, want nummies. You already ate, sweetie. You're getting big, don't you think? You're going on a diet tomorrow till you can walk again. What that? Diet? It means you eat less so you don't get fat. If you're too fat, you can't walk to get nummies, or even run away from monsters. You don't want that, do you? This scares her. No, no want monsters. Daddy, help! Pway! Shouts Derpy as she continues to wiggle and flap her wings. Stupid little thing doesn't even know what's going on. In the morning, you drop off food in their dishes and get ready for work. You come back to find Derpy nuzzling Buttercup's belly and tell them to be good while you're at work. You take a second to put her face in the food bowl and head out, not noticing it was already empty. You come home to spend time with them and feed them again before bed. A week later, you notice that Buttercup hasn't lost any weight. In fact, despite her reduced portion size, she is bigger still. She can't walk on the rug anymore, she just wobbles on her stomach across the tile as it's easier to slide on to get anywhere. You feed them in the kitchen and hide around the corner to watch. Buttercup chows down. You don't think she is even chewing at this point, just vacuuming up the kibble before slowly working her way to Derpy and bumping her. Once disturbed, Derpy assumes she has lost her teat and goes back to nuzzling Buttercup's belly, looking for it, while Buttercup vacuums up Derpy's food as well. You smart little bastard. This startles the fluffies, but it's too late. The food has already been consumed and poor Derpy is slowly starving to death. Getting some food, as Buttercup is so slow, but not enough to live, and with no way to communicate this to you. You pull Derpy off her and put her on the counter with more kibble and stick her face in the bowl. Ring, ring. You answer the phone. It's your boss. They need you on the China case now. $370 million contract deal going south because your coworker insulted the Chinese somehow. Probably because he's a dunce. You think Derpy could have done a better job. Bottom line is, you need to spend the next month in China and several months a year in China for your new position. No way you're going to be able to keep the fluffies. They are not even legal in China. Penalty is penis chopping off or something strange like that. You can't give them to your friend. He would kill them in a drunken rage. By the way, you hear he has a new one named Hawk or Hulk or something and spends all of his time at the Fluffy Park studying him out to random people. To which he has earned a reputation to be avoided. What the fuck is his problem? And what the hell do you do with your fluffies? You call your sister. She is one of those crazy cat ladies. Only a few years older than you and already has 4 cats. You know she'll take your fluffies, but is she really ready for something like this? Guess it's time to find out. Things transition well. You hug your fluffies and tell them you will visit whenever you can. They don't understand, but then again, not like Derpy ever would anyway. Buttercup, on the other hand, is happy to be rid of you. You have been denying her food. She can walk again now, but never thanks you for the ability to do so. Just demands food all the time and even made sorry poopies on you yesterday. You regrettably used the sorry stick, but that just cannot be tolerated. You still felt bad about it. At least it has only been a couple of times in the 6 months you had them. You doubt your sister will ever use the sorry stick, as she is a total beta and gives her precious cats anything and everything. You explain to her that the food situation, and she agrees to monitor and diet Buttercup, though you have your doubts. Well, that has been Derpy, part 2 of the Birth of Derpy series. Thank you for listening to me babble, and thank you to Philile and Bosnia for the artwork. And thank you to Aichi for the delicious Weggies Presents title screen. I appreciate all the artwork and the support, and I appreciate everybody on the Booru and FPG that come and listen to me. Hopefully I will have the next part 3, Derpy, Fluffy, Shy, and Babies, up for you soon. And if anybody else is interested in doing art for the series, please just contact me on Skype or leave a message or send me a message on the Booru. Thank you for watching.